reason I'm wondering if it's a bigger thing, not just because of the incidents that I just outlined at the Dallas Zoo, but 12 squirrel monkeys were also missing from the Louisiana Zoo. So now my spidey senses are tingling.
You and me both, Ashleigh. It's been almost a week since these 12 monkeys were basically abducted from that other zoo. And I'm not one to believe in coincidences. So you have two situations of monkeys being stolen from zoos in the South in the same week. That really does strike me as bizarre. And thankfully, these two were found and seem to be relatively unharmed. But it definitely piques my interest, particularly because, as you stated, the guy they arrested was found asking about an animal at the aquarium, and the security image that police had released from the zoo showed the guy there before. So it did kind of seem like this person was casing the place before allegedly stealing the animals.
Okay, so Jarod, help me understand, with the vulture being dead, that was curious to me, because I thought if you're trying to steal and sell in a ring, if that's the allegation here, and I don't know that it is, why would the vulture be dead? But then also, what is the value, say, of these tamarin monkeys and the 12 other, monkeys that were stolen or at least disappeared from Louisiana?
Well, good evening, Ashleigh. Yeah, I mean, the whole situation is very suspect. And again, one incident, and again, these instances with the millions of people that visit zoos annually, I mean, the probability of this stuff happening is extremely, extremely rare. So all of these connections that everyone's kind of suspecting could possibly lead to something. But to answer your question, yes, it's very suspect that, the death of an animal, which is very tragic, but when it comes to these primates being targeted, and again, not only at one facility, but a second one, both relatively close to each other, at least in the same part of the country, kind of leads you to think about, is there some kind of backstory or something a little bit larger going on where these primates might be in the form of, or being led up to being trafficked?
So that's the other question. The 6 counts of animal cruelty, Caitlyn, I haven't seen a theft. I haven't seen any others, but I have also heard that the Dallas police have said there could be additional charges in this case.
That's exactly what I am anticipating. Based on what they said, more charges do seem like they're coming down the pipeline. It feels like the animal cruelty charges were the easiest ones to do, because once they found the monkeys, that does sort of make sense there. And so I think beyond this further investigation, we're definitely going to be seeing more charges coming down the pipeline. And if there is a larger sort of conspiracy at hand here, it could be a question of asking this perpetrator, this alleged perpetrator, to maybe give them some more information before they would file these charges.
And this leads me, Jarod, to the question, which I think everybody has, right? We're all just stunned by this weird series of events. Again, I listed it out. There was the langur species. Somebody cut the hole, but they didn't get out. Then just 2 enclosures down, the clouded leopard. Somebody cut the hole and the leopard did get out. Then 8 days later, the vulture is dead. And then these tamarin monkeys are stolen. And then, of course, Louisiana. Are zoos, have they been and will they be a lot more vigilant right now about the potential of black market theft? And will they have more surveillance installed to try to figure this out?
Absolutely. I mean, both of these institutions are accredited zoos, and of all the zoos across the country, and especially the accredited ones, these measures are already in place for security. I mean, when you visit a zoo, as with many other public places where millions of people congregate, there is a large amount of surveillance going on already. Of course, zoos have protocols for all types of things, and again, when instances like this, again, very, very rare, go from being kind of this criminal mischief to then theft and leading you to believe that there perhaps is this kind of market for these particular primates, seeing the fact that they have been physically taken off of zoo grounds. Zoos are, again, you're absolutely right. Everyone's very heightened right now, but leading up to now, there's always been a significant amount of security protecting these animals and the public for that matter.
Quick
wire
update. I only have
they need.
Well, that's what I thought, right? Like, shouldn't the alarm bells be going off, if anything? Right, that's what I thought. Okay, I only have 30 seconds left, but Caitlyn, Bella and Jim, the tamarin monkeys, they're not supposed to be out in the cold, and Dallas is cold. Do we have an update on their conditions? Are they okay?
They have been checked by a vet, and they seem okay. But for those 12 monkeys that are missing in Louisiana, you can't just feed a monkey a banana and expect it to be healthy. So there's a big concern about that. There are also 38 monkeys in the enclosure. Some of them were left, and they were too scared to go into the home where they sleep at night after the break-in.
Oh, look, we all love animals, but there's also this added strangeness of the series, and hopefully it's not a ring, but hopefully we'll get some answers. Caitlyn Becker, Jarod Miller, thank you both. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Ashleigh.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.